The Eternals are finally, officially on the board. So many toy leaks. But yes, hot off of Chloe Zhao's Oscar dominance, Marvel unveiled the first footage of her first blockbuster today. It's not a trailer, it's not even a teaser, it's part of an overall clip reel, but it's enough for us to break down, which is what we're gonna do right now. But first, who the heck are the Eternals? Marvel has yet to succinctly answer this question. Even though I've read many Eternals comics at this point, I still don't know who they really are, but this is what I've surmised so far. I feel that they are like Earth's royal family. This is what I've learned about the royal family from The Crown. I'm sure some of those of you in the UK might feel a little bit differently, but in my opinion, so this is how I view the Eternals as I said again, the royal family, but for the entire planet. So they're immortal, they're eternal, right? In the most recent comic, if one of them dies, I think they're backed up, and then they kind of get reborn, but they pick up where they left off, which is actually what they're doing with Jonathan Hickman's X-Men right now, because they're also immortal. The X-Men's pretty good. Jonathan Hickman, sometimes it's a convoluted mess, but he has, I think, his best ideas he's ever had with the X-Men. You should be reading the X-Men. I hope Kevin Feige is reading Jonathan Hickman's X-Men, although they're so similar to the Eternals now, I don't know how they're going to carve out a space for them. But anyway, in Kevin Feige we trust. So the Eternals are eternal, and since they're playing the long game as Earth's protectors, they have no allegiances or motives, supposedly. So they look after the Earth as a disinterested third party, just like the royal family has no political allegiances to either party, and therefore kind of can break the tie and are playing the long game. So that's what the Eternals are doing. Now, of course, if you have angels, that means you also have demons, and those are the deviants, who have factored into the comics and I believe are going to be in this movie as well. Although, as time has progressed, they've gone from being demons to being misunderstood and just as cool as angels. So we'll see how they decide to depict them here. And there's been in the most recent comics some argument amongst the Eternals as to whether or not the deviants are truly evil. Now all of these, the Eternals and the deviants, are created by the alien Celestials, which have leaked as part of the toys situation. So basically, the horse Feige decided to bet on is instead of the Inhumans is the Eternals, because they're pretty much the same thing. The Inhumans were created also by an alien race, the Kree, who in fact were where Carol Danvers was for all that time. So the Inhumans actually tie in better to the MCU so far. But that's how much Kevin Feige hates the old Marvel and the TV division that existed under the old Marvel. So he's doing the Eternals instead. Now, I've been reading the best Eternals comic I've ever read, if you'd like to pick it up, is the new one that just started from Kieran Gillen and Esad Ribic. It's only medium. It's gorgeous artwork, which we would expect from Esad Ribic. And Kieran Gillen's a very talented writer, but he's grappling with a very incoherent story. But it's the most coherent that I've seen it yet, so you might want to check that out. All right, so let's break this down. So we start with Salma Hayek, who looks like she rode right out of Nomadland, but in fact, she's in Eternals. So she's playing Ajak. This is a role that's been gender bent, and she is the leader of the Eternals, and she's able to communicate with the Celestials. And she has a line that's said over these few clips, and she says, and this goes so fast, this accounts for a good chunk of the clips. She says, when you love something, you fight for it. And I guess they're talking about planet Earth. We'll see. But yeah, she looks right out of Nomadland. That's crazy. So then we have our next shot on the beach. And, Kevin Feige's been going around saying that he, at screenings of the footage, was like, that's not a visual effect. Chloe Zhao did that in camera. And then he said he saw Nomadland, and he was like, oh, I guess she does that all the time. It's her signature look. And she's developing a signature look, which is awesome. I think it's important for directors to have a signature look. Steven Spielberg has, J.J. Abrams stole lens flare. Beams of light, I guess, to Steven Spielberg. And then J.J. Abrams evolved that into lens flare. Christopher Nolan has a very distinct look. And it seems that Chloe Zhao, her look is nature. Nature turned up to an 11. Nature, so it almost looks unreal. So that's what she's doing. And so we can see we have some better shots of the Eternals going forward. But I think that's right. Let's see. So that's Circe, I believe, there. And Circe's, of course, supposed to be, we'll use this toy leak as a guide to seeing them when they're not so clear. So they do a lot of camping. So they're camping on the beach, and then they're camping in the woods. Again, I told you, nature. So here, let's go through this so we can see them a little bit better here. So there's Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo. He's also a Bollywood star, and you see a pretty good shot of that in a few moments. I think he has, rumor is he has an actual dance number, which will make me very happy. But his power is he has energy blasts from his hands. Then there's Leah McHugh as Sprite, and she creates illusions. This is very much like the X-Men. That's like Danny Moonstar, right? All right, so she creates lifelike illusions. They all kind of like have super strength and vulnerability, and some of them, I think in the comics, most of them can fly, but I don't know if all these are going to be able to fly. But anyway, then there's Gemma Chan again. She's playing Circe. She manipulates matter, and she's in a romantic relationship with Kit Harington, who's playing Dane Whitman, who has his own future in the MCU. Then there's Richard Madden as Icarus. He's basically Superman. He's got eye beams, although we're very eye beamed out at this point, I feel. So they're going to have to work very hard to make that really stand out. Then there's Angelina Jolie, but she has a much cooler shot coming up. She plays Thena. She can make any weapon out of cosmic energy. Hold that thought. And she is lifelong partners with here. I don't know if they're romantically involved or just pals, just friends. Is he stuck in the eternal friend zone? But that's Don Lee playing Gilgamesh, who has a cosmic energy exoskeleton, which is basically like armor from the X-Men. All right, so I don't know how they're going to do the X-Men with these characters. All right, fine, yeah, I trust you, even though you make them very scary. So there she is. You know, say what you will about Angelina Jolie, but she still delivers the best shot in the trailer. She knows how to look out for herself. So she looks fantastic there. That's one of the weapons that she's able to create out of her cosmic energy. She's created a sword that looks so cool. It's a gold glowing sword. And just as Wonder Woman gave up her sword, which was so stupid, that looks great. Angelina Jolie is kind of like in a Cold War with Gal Gadot. Angelina Jolie wanted to play Cleopatra. Now Gal Gadot is going to. Angelina Jolie wanted to be the Bride of Frankenstein, but they were going to recast with Gal Gadot. And Angelina Jolie stepped in and got Universal to say no. So she lost the role for Gal Gadot, and now she doesn't have it still either. And we didn't get a Bride of Frankenstein movie. So, and I think Angelina Jolie is trying to get back in there, and she's doing a blonde version of Wonder Woman. And I have to say, this is a pretty darn good start. Then we have the Eternals, this release date. And then here we have a little nice shot here of everybody together. And you see Lauren Ridloff run in as Makari. She's another speedster. But the difference here is that her character is deaf, as is the actress in real life. And that means that her sonic booms don't bother her. But I would be like, did the sonic booms make you deaf in the first place? Because then that's a little sad and tragic. Although Chloe Zhao's like, I love it. Maybe, that's the real kind of Oscar-y kind of stuff she would like. So, some people are saying with this November release date, could Eternals be an Oscar contender? Let's see what the message of the movie is. If it's all, I think that seems like a little bit of a tall order, but we'll see. Now, as for who everyone else is, while Angelina Jolie's pretty easy to spot because she's the blonde and all white, and then based again on this toy cheat sheet, where they all look pretty darn cool, I have to say. But they look like the X-Men. They look like space X-Men. All right, and also, I can't believe they too have the same tailors as everybody else in the MCU. I mean, you would think even at least their costumes would look a little different. But anyway, I think that's Gilgamesh next to her, which makes sense because, again, they're pals. I think that's Icarus there, and then that seems like Kumail Nanjiani there, who looks like pretty slim considering he's really changed his appearance working out to join the MCU, which we'll talk about more in a moment. We have a better shot of him. That looks like an ancient Egypt situation, maybe. They are eternal. I'll be curious to see how much they go through time. And then you have Gemma Chan saying, we're the ones who change everything. And it's like, let's see if everyone loves you. But I'm excited to see. I hope that we do. But I'm the most excited about Gemma Chan. This is her second time in the MCU. She, of course, was in Captain Marvel, and now she's in the MCU playing a totally different character. Kevin Feige's like, we're just not going to talk about it. But I think this is great. The thing that gave me the most confidence in Gemma Chan to play this role is actually her voice work in Raya and the Last Dragon. I thought she did an incredible job. So I'm very excited to see her finally, after many attempts in Disney, to be totally front and center in the flesh. And then you see Kumail Nanjiani take off his Ray-Bans in true Bollywood star fashion. He looks great. It looks like maybe his assistant there. I'm the most interested, actually, in him in this film. I'm a big Kumail Nanjiani fan. I think he's very funny. I think he's very clever. He's a fan at heart, which I think is great. He's a big movie and pop culture fan. He really has changed his look. I mean, he's just completely changed the bone structure of his face. So I'm curious to see if he could make himself the complete package. Although, what is the message there? Because he physically altered himself. But I think he looks great. And so I hope that it was all worth it. Then right there it says it will be worth the wait. All right, so I'm going to break down all the other news in another video, but I'm curious, how do the Eternals look to you? I think I'm the most excited because, I guess, Kumail Nanjiani looks totally different. He's reborn. And then I'm also excited, I have to say, about Angelina Jolie, all personal stuff aside for her, she is a professional, consummate professional, and I think that she has a really good look here. I'm excited to see her change weapons mid-fight with the cosmic energy. That could be really exciting for her to go from one weapon to the other just with a thought. That's gonna be amazing! God damn it, they better get Wonder Woman back on track. All right, so share your thoughts down below, subscribe today, and of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.